A surprising new update for those of us Yellowstone fans who have now been waiting over a year for the final episodes of the series. The delay has been related to a dispute between the show's superstar actor Kevin Costner, who plays John Dutton on the series, and the show's creator Taylor Sheridan. They have differences over the shooting schedule, and it all ultimately led to a premature ending to the series. Now, it, for me, has been one of my favorite shows that has come out over the last 10 or 15 years, but the last episodes aired in January of last year, almost a year and a half ago. It's difficult to believe that it's been that long. But the big surprise is that Yellowstone has just started filming those final episodes. Now, there are some major questions that need to be answered. What is Kevin Costner's status? Is he even going to be there? Things have gotten so bad that we're not even sure if he's going to be involved in those final episodes, whether or not there's been a agreement reached, but he had signaled recently in interviews that we're going to look at that he was willing to return. But here's the scoop on Yellowstone and those final episodes that are being filmed. So this is from The Hollywood Reporter. It says that Yellowstone has begun filming the final episodes of season 5 and the final episodes of the series, quite frankly. It says filming on the Western Hits final season 5 episodes has gotten underway in Montana. It says while the start of production was later than previously thought, including questions of whether or not it was ever going to happen, MTV Entertainment Studios and 101 Studios expect it to return in November, as previously announced last year. And man, that is quite the deadline to get this out. It says there's no update on the show's cast or whether Kevin Costner will even make an appearance. I can't imagine what that would mean for these final episodes if Kevin Costner is not in the show. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you can do that and leave the fans satisfied. Certainly for me, it would be highly disappointing if they don't handle John Dutton's exit from the show with care. And when you have Kevin Costner saying he's willing to come back and do it, and if they can't make that happen, it's going to be super disappointing. And there's been so much that has happened with this show where I think they got overly ambitious with all these spin-offs, and you can do one thing well, or you can split your attention to 10 different things, and I just think they got too ambitious with all that stuff in the Yellowstone universe. Not that some of those shows haven't been good, but those early seasons, particularly for me, the first 3 seasons were shockingly good. Some of the best television I've ever seen, and I'm not a big TV watcher. I like, some reality shows occasionally. I don't spend a lot of time, but this show was so good that it got me to watch. And I hope that they can just do this John Dutton character justice in the way that it needs to be done, because it's just been amazing. It says Yellowstone aired its last episode more than a year ago in January of 2023, with Paramount Network deciding to split it into 2 parts. Talks of infighting over scheduling and script delays between Costner and showrunner Taylor Sheridan ensued for many months. He'd been focusing on his Western film Horizon, an American Saga. The cast and crew had been planning to resume filming in March with an announced summer premiere date, but those dates just didn't happen. I mean, it just didn't go on, and it's been somewhat of a disaster for this show to be meeting this kind of an end where we all had so much hope for it and were wishing that the show could, really deliver on those expectations that we had from really the first 3 seasons. But not really so as of yet. Costner, though, recently said he wants to return to the show to finish his character. He said in that interview, "I'd like to be able to do it, but we haven't been able to. I thought it was going to happen to make 7 seasons, but right now we're at 5. So how it works out, I hope it does. But they've got a lot of different shows going on. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll circle back to me. If it does, and I feel really comfortable with it, I'd love to do it." I don't really know any of the inside baseball of this, but when you hear Kevin Costner describe it in that way, he's like, they've got a lot of shows going on. I think some of the issue has been that they just got really crazy about the Yellowstone universe, and they wanted to capitalize on the success of that, and they just did so many spinoff shows to the point where I'm like, it's similar to WWE. It's like, I love wrestling, but I liked wrestling when it was 1 to 2 hours. I can't do 3 hours twice a week or however much they're doing. I'm just not going to devote that, even though I love it, respect it, not going to devote that much time to it. And so these Yellowstone spinoffs have just not been as good as the show was. I respect them for trying. It's cool to see Tim McGraw and all that, but like, I don't know. It's really hard. It's really challenging. And it seems like maybe Costner is a little bit hesitant about the way they've been devoting their attention so much to these other shows. How can you make the show as that good when you're focusing on all these other things? I don't know. It continues, but if he's not involved at this stage with scripts complete and filming underway, it's starting to seem less likely that he will be. The show had gone on hiatus on a cliffhanger. Jamie Dutton had just thrown down the gauntlet against his sister and father in a move that would usher in an all-out war between these embattled family members. There's no official episode length. Sheridan said if it makes it 10 episodes to wrap it up, they'll give me 10. It'll be as long as it needs to be. Taylor Sheridan's done a great job with the show, but again, I think that they've spent too much time on these spinoffs, man. If they get to these final episodes in the series and Kevin Costner's not involved, I don't know how you wrap this story up in a way. They're just going to have to do that classic take him out, and it's going to be, I think, hard for a lot of the Yellowstone fans to accept. This dispute has gone on so long that it's now probably reduced a lot of the hype that the show has had. And that's sad. I remember when Yellowstone was a juggernaut. Everybody's wearing the Dutton Ranch clothes and all that. And, if you're out there in the comments, I would actually love to hear this from you. Are you still as stoked about Yellowstone as you once were? Are you still pumped up about it? For me, I don't feel as optimistic, especially considering it doesn't look like Costner is going to really be involved. Let me know what you think down in the comments. This is a crazy situation to me. That is your latest update here from CountryCast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button with notifications on for the latest news and updates.